Alright boys and girls, how's it going? Now in this video we are going to be talking brutally, honestly, about all of this KSI Logan stuff, right? The fact that they've taken my creation and made it what it is today, genuinely, I could not be prouder. They laughed at us, right, at the beginning, and now to see it become a professional fight, right? These guys getting the biggest boxing promotion company in the world involved, right? I genuinely could not be prouder. So well done. And I just hope you both put in the absolute hardest work you can and put on just the greatest show ever. Obviously, we've got the press conference. We're gonna watch this live together and I'm just gonna be real with you. Before that, something that I really can't stand about this event is seeing how obviously Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing have come in and gotten rid of the whole of the reason why this was a success, right? And that is because it's YouTube. I understand he has seen the opportunity. There's loads of money to be made in this, and he's come through and said, yeah, we're gonna get rid of all the YouTubers on the undercard and replace them with professional boxing fights. Well, I look at the likes of Anis and Gibb, right? FaZe Sensei, Jake Paul, the people that have been such a big part of this whole entire series, and they're just getting kicked away like they're nothing. Not to mention Eddie Hearn, KSI, Logan. You wouldn't be getting any of this right now if me and Theo didn't have that first fight. Think, where would you be without this? That's all I'm gonna say. So now in terms of the other fights, right, of YouTubers that we wanna see on the undercard, right, I wanna get a thing going here because if we create enough of a buzz about it, surely Eddie Hearn and the other people involved can't just ignore it. You know, there's money to be made. One that I wanna see, right, Anis and Gibb, Jake Paul. Right, I think that's the one that we all want to see. Jake's obviously been like, not wanting to fight Gibb for the same reason that I didn't. One, the only person I really wanted to fight was JJ, and Gibb, it doesn't really motivate me. And I'm assuming Jake has kind of got the same thing because, Gibb's not a big name. Secondly, he'd smash my face in. Right, and I believe it, right? So I think Jake is sort of thinking that, and why would he want to get beaten up by someone that's not like big time? Do you know what I mean? We know, right, that if Gibb versus Jake happens, the whole of the UK scene is gonna get behind it. This could arguably be the best fight on the whole night. Really, the whole America versus England sort of theme is ideal. And Jake, if you're desperate to get the best fight and the best numbers, you're getting that with Anis and Gibb. None of the UK audience really care about you versus FouseyTube, right? We don't care. You boast about, I beat Joe Weller in 2 minutes. I'm amazing. Mate, you don't want to fight people that can't actually fight, right? You want to go against someone that's proven, that we know is actually decent, right? So Anis and Gibb, he's the guy, right? Stop with the about how, he's not got enough clout, right? At this point, mate, he will. Right, we all want it, right? The whole of the UK is behind him and we want to see that. So are you the real deal or not? Right, that's what it comes down to, mate, like genuinely. So yeah, anyways, apart from that, basically any other YouTubers that are really up for fighting on this card, make your voice heard. Because this is a YouTube event. This is why I pushed to do the first event that even JJ didn't really want to do. I am now going to give you my genuine, honest opinion of who I think is going to win and why. Firstly, KSI, right? You have proven time and time again why you are number one in more than one field. And I genuinely believe that you have what it takes to go to that Los Angeles venue and knock Logan Paul out, right? Without a doubt. Now, he's been on a music tour, right? And you could argue, has he been training? But it is clear that he's been purposely bulking as he obviously believes that he needs to be heavier in order to get those power punches to Logan's skull. Now that's obviously intelligent, right? But you got to think, when he starts training, and burning so many calories a day, is he going to start losing that? Or is he going to have to force feed, which is what I had to do to try and put on weight and get as close to JJ's weight as possible for my fight. And it's hell, and it can have like an effect, but he may just be maintaining, we don't know for sure. As well, people saying that, he's having to go to LA, he's away from his home. Well, you could argue that him touring Europe and being away from home like most of this summer has been training for that. He's used to performing away from his comfort zone, away from home, right? On the other hand, I do see him as a bloke that, likes being around his mates and having that sort of like banter and chemistry like around him. And he said he's gonna do half his training here and half in America with the Mayweathers. Now, that, that could be class. That could be, the icing on the cake that he needs. But if he doesn't know them too well and, the chemistry isn't there like it is with him and Vidal, could that be disruptive? You know, we just don't know. All you can say is that whatever circumstance he seems to be in, he uses it and prevails, right? You know, he just does, which is fair play, and you've got to respect it. Now, Logan, obviously, you know, he came over to England, strange climate, you know, different place, and still almost won the last fight, which is, you know, you've got to say fair play. Does this now mean that when he's doing it in the comfort of his home, is he just gonna level up? Right, I mean, you know, that could be a big advantage. It does seem as well that Logan has been training constantly since the last fight, you know, staying in shape, working on his boxing, whilst KSI appears to have been just on a tour. Logan's had a hamstring injury, he's been to Ibiza, partying, so, you know, you don't know for sure. In the videos that we have seen of Logan boxing, obviously we don't know if they're real, but he is showing that he has got that power. And obviously in this fight, with it being a pro fight, there's no head guards and they're using 10-ounce gloves. Bearing in mind, last time it was 12 ounce. That does seem like in the fight, it's gonna favor Logan being the harder hitter, but we don't know if JJ has been working on his power, even though I will say, I personally, you know, from experience, believe that, you know, being a hard hitter is something that you are, you know, you either are a hard hitter or you're not. Obviously, adding weight can help, and, you know, it does enhance it. But I will say that I feel Jake Paul doesn't hit really hard, but he's very accurate, very technically, you know, precise. And I feel like when I faced JJ, he wasn't the hardest hitter. Obviously, you know, when he was just banging me and I was doing nothing, obviously, you know, that works. And if he gets Logan to a point where Logan's, you know, maybe exhausted or he's just not throwing back, then, you know, of course JJ will have the power to stop him. Now, in terms of what I think they'll actually do, right, obviously we've heard from JJ's camp it's going to be more of a, you know, slow, methodical destruction of Logan, right? Demoralize him and then take him out at the end, which, you know, that could work, because what Logan did last time, he just got in there, let his hands go and gassed himself out, right? And if he does that again, then, you know, that plan will work perfectly for JJ. But as we're all expecting, Logan is probably going to come much fitter this time. And the management of how he uses his energy throughout the fight will probably be better, right? Now, in terms of JJ's plan, I believe that he will start quicker. If he allows Logan to get those shots off early on, like with no head guards and lighter gloves, it could be grim early on, right? Either way, right, from both guys. If whoever connects early on hard, you know, it's going to stun the opponent way more, and their recovery, you know, that's the thing. Where we saw KSI recover from the early onslaught last time, like that may not be as possible this time if, you know, if he gets stunned, right? Look at Anthony Joshua in his fight with Andy Ruiz. I know they're obviously, you know, big heavyweights, but it shows if you get hit in the right place, you know, it does damage. And with that in mind, obviously, the slow, demoralising tactics that JJ may want to put in place, obviously, if he takes a big one early on, right, I'm sorry, but I know firsthand, when you start getting hit in the face, you can't do too much thinking, and tactics could go out the window. If it becomes like a slugfest, and they start trading big ones, it does favour Logan. But like I say, it won't surprise me if KSI pulls off a KSI and comes and is, you know, much more hard hitting this time, you know, his technique's better, and he's overall just leveled up loads, right? But overall, I just hope that we can walk away from this event and go, you know, that guy that won, you know, he really deserved it. Fair play. And there's just like a lot more respect in it, you know, because it is sick what they're doing. And like I say, I am proud of what they are doing. Now, who I believe will win. And obviously before any comments about, you're salty, you're so bitter, your mum. This is what, you know, this is what I think. So if you look at it all on paper and, you know, take in the facts, I believe, well, my head is saying that Logan is going to do it, right, by knockout. Regardless of who you want to win, I feel like naturally that is what makes most sense, right? Saying that though, it will not surprise me at all if KSI comes forward. He's improved on all the things that he didn't quite do right last time, and, you know, he comes and just knocks Logan out. Even though it's pretty obvious, I feel like, you know, the lack of head guard and lighter gloves is gonna play a role. Even though I do believe that these guys will be training without head guards anyway, like even for the last match, I reckon, you know, they would practice without head guards because, you know, just to get used to getting hit. But I do feel like Logan has the power and the reach, and he's taller than JJ, to be able to get those hard shots in first. Because I feel like that's what this could be down to. Whoever connects first. And considering how difficult JJ found it to get within distance to connect to Logan in the first fight, I feel like that's going to be quite important. I do feel though that, you know, JJ does have the ability to dig deep. He may be able to take Logan's bangs, and we know he can dig deep late on. And I feel like, you know, Logan sort of didn't give up, but he sort of, once he was gassed, couldn't really dig deep for a second wind in the last fight. So the overall thing that I think a lot of people are thinking is that if Logan is going to win, then it does seem like early on, like in the first half of the fight is when it would be. And then JJ in the later rounds, you know, that's just judging by the last fight. And both these guys, remember, may just bring a completely different game to last time. And yeah, but that's what I think is going to happen. Let us know what you think, right? Just get it in the comments. I can't wait for it anyway, but yeah. May the best man win, and good luck, boys. Peace.